fish, can she take algal?
Yes.
She can. Yay!
I have a friend who's kind of deathly allergic to fish, that even if fish was on a cutting board at a restaurant and he was having lamb chops or something afterwards and it was on the same cutting board and you couldn't taste anything, but he could react very severely. So there are a lot of folks who do have an allergy to fish, and as much as they love to enjoy our fish oil has no fishy aftertaste, but it still comes from fish. But our algal DHA does not come from fish. It comes from a plant, a primitive unicellular plant that is like a little factory that produces DHA. And that little factory produces the pure DHA, no harsh chemicals, non-GMO. So yes, it's perfect for Brenda.
I hope that answers your question, Brenda. Buy with confidence. They just put a little reminder on the side of the screen that this is the final show. It's been a big weekend for Andrew, his team, the today's specials. The pricing expires at midnight tonight.
Then we get 6 or 7 weeks off so I wish everybody the happiest of holidays and a little ahead of myself, Merry Christmas and Healthy New Year and all. But we'll be back. We have a lot of work to do, but we'll be back with great Today specials and monthly specials in about 6 or 7 weeks. But we still have till midnight. Whatever you'd want to get will be at all the event pricing until midnight tonight, without exception, everything.
But don't forget, if you're even 1 minute late, that pricing does expire. What about antioxidants, Andrew? Why do I need an antioxidant?
Well, antioxidant, I'm probably guilty of being the person that stimulated the use of that word in the supplement industry. I've been talking about antioxidants for basically 40 years. I started my company, it's now over 39 years ago. Next year it'll be 40 years. And I always talked about antioxidants. What I prefer to talk about now is more protective compounds, because the antioxidant word is a little bit too almost chemically non-specific enough. So I prefer the concept that foods deliver us protective compounds, and that their protective role isn't just as an antioxidant. Certainly alpha lipoic acid is a very powerful protective compound, and much of its role is as an antioxidant, but that is not its exclusive role. It also supports the production of our body's own protective compounds like glutathione peroxidase. So alpha lipoic acid, what makes alpha lipoic acid unique is that typically molecules, the positive benefits they exert, they have a choice to make, and it was made in advance. Their chemical structure determines whether they have a more lipid or fat-friendly structure, or a more water or aqueous-friendly structure, whether they're hydrophilic, loving water, or hydrophobic, hating water, not afraid of water, or lipophilic, which means they love fat. Alpha lipoic acid doesn't have to make that choice, because alpha lipoic acid is a very flexible character. Alpha lipoic acid is both water-loving and lipid-loving. It's lipophilic and hydrophilic. So alpha lipoic acid exerts its protective benefits in both a lipid-based environment like membranes, or our brain, for instance, our liver. Our liver does all that dirty, toxic work. Our brain works hard on our behalf. We want to make sure there's adequate protective compounds to protect our brain. And alpha lipoic acid is lipophilic, so it enjoys and can be in both of those structures. It also can pass through our blood-brain barrier. Also, alpha lipoic acid can exert beneficial effects. We just got done talking about cinnamon and berberine. And alpha lipoic acid is often consumed by those who want to support and protect their body from the potential impact of glucose metabolism and carbohydrate metabolism. Alpha lipoic acid, it's sort of, I always say it's kind of a second cousin to CoQ10 in terms of its protective role it exerts in our body.
So that, I hope, is kind of an insight into why this is a wonderful choice to make. Obviously, when
it's our highest potency. It's also our original alpha lipoic acid was 200 milligrams. This is 400 milligrams of alpha lipoic acid per capsule. It's also a form of alpha lipoic acid. I should mention this. I actually, next time Muriel and I go over to Europe to see your family in France, the company that makes our alpha lipoic acid, It's multiple times more expensive than the alpha lipoic acid you see in any typical product. It's made in Germany, but it basically has no solvents whatsoever. The typical alpha lipoic acid you find in supplements in any store is an alpha lipoic acid that has high levels of solvents. It's a much simpler synthesis to make that product, and it's much less expensive, that raw material, but it has levels of solvent that I find unacceptable. So we're forced, even though at 400 milligrams our price is exceedingly reasonable, it's a form of alpha lipoic acid that the typical product, I'd say 99% of the products on the market don't use the same alpha lipoic acid we use.
Well, all good things must come to an end. We have one more before our show is over. Andrew, we get to this time